place where we can go and be alone.
Hi guys, happy OZTOBER. I'm pregnant. We have a lot to talk about. It was really good to just like say that because I'm somebody that when I'm pregnant, I'm very sick. If you guys remember with my daughter, I had her 4 years ago and I still get messages about people being like, oh my God, I have horrible morning sickness. I know what you were going through then. Do you have tips for me? Like, I still get messages about it because I talk so much about it and I'm like, why is nobody else talking about it? But then I realized that like not everybody does get as bad of morning sickness. This baby, I am getting just as bad of morning sickness as I did with my daughter. And it's so funny because people have said to me, don't worry with your next, it won't be as bad. Lies. Anyway, because of the morning sickness, it feels so good to be able to finally tell you guys that I'm pregnant, because that's why I've been missing uploads, not really posting on stories, just kind of feeling like blah, is because every day I'm throwing up and I'm nauseous and it's like you have the flu every single day. With that being said, I am so grateful to be pregnant because when I was pregnant with my daughter and I was nauseous all the time, I got really like down in the dumps, like depressed, like just not feeling happy, and I had no idea what motherhood was going to be like. And now going through it the second time, I can be grateful because my little girl is like my best friend. She brings so much light and happiness to me and my husband. She's so funny. She's always making us laugh. And I can hold on to something that like, you're making this baby, you're sick every day, but you're creating another life, like another little being that's you're going to love so much. Like, I didn't know what the love was going to be like the first time around, so it was easy for me to just feel stuck of like, when will this end? And my morning sickness does go on for a really long time. I'm currently in my second trimester and we're still here, we're still struggling. Anyway, going through it this time around, I'll get really sick, but then I have something to hold on to. And when my daughter kisses my belly and is so excited about the baby, it just makes it 100% worth it. I'm also gonna tell you guys the story because like I love hearing people's stories of when they get pregnant, and like there's some similarities between this one and my daughter and just how it happened. But basically we were in New York and it was over the summer and we just wanted to have the most fun this summer. We had decided at this point, we were like, yes, we want to have another kid, but this summer trip in particular, we did not want to really focus on trying because I do have, as my doctor puts it, a mild case of PCOS. So it just requires like really paying attention to your cycle, because I could have a 30-day cycle or I could have a 37-day cycle. Like when I got pregnant with my daughter, I looked at my app from back then of like what month I got pregnant and then like how many days my cycle was. The month I got pregnant with her was a 37-day cycle, and then the month before that I had a 33. So it just throws your fertile window off. It doesn't mean you're not fertile. I was able to get pregnant easily both times, or at least in my case. It just means that I just have to really pay attention to my cycle, which we did not want to do on this trip because we were just having so much fun. We were in New York City, we were in the Hamptons, we were in upstate New York, we went to the Jersey Shore. It was an East Coast tour. Like, it was so fun. I got pregnant on that trip, of course, right? That's how it happens sometimes when you're just laid back, not thinking about it. Did not think that it was a possibility because I wasn't keeping track of my cycle. And then one day when we were in New York, I was laying by the pool and I thought, let me look at my YouTube comments. I posted a video the other day and I have not checked the comments yet. And so I'm looking through the comments and I'm sorry, he's so loud. He's just licking his paws, but he's just like, and this comment jumped out at me. I'm gonna pull it up right now. So it says, you have a spirit baby around you. Looking back, I was in my 2-week wait. And when I filmed the video, I was in my 2-week wait. I filmed like a vlog and I was just showing what we were doing. And this girl commented that, you have a spirit baby around you. And I commented to her and I was like, what does that mean? Like, is that gonna happen next month, the month after? Literally did not think that I was pregnant in this moment. I was eating and drinking everything I wanted. Like, I remember we had sushi that day and I was like, that's weird. Like, okay, what does that mean? Then it got me like opening my app and I was like, oh, I'm about to get my period. Had no period symptoms, no pregnancy symptoms either, but no period symptoms. And I was like, I'm about to get my period. So when we finally ended our New York trip, think we ended at the Jersey Shore. I stopped and just got like pads and tampons because I didn't want anything to happen on the plane ride home. The whole time at the airport, I'm like, I don't feel a period, but like I gotta keep checking. And then we get home, it's the evening. I still don't take a pregnancy test because I'm like, I'm only a day late, like PCOS, like that happens. So then the next morning, my husband's like, take a pregnancy test. And I'm like, I'm not pregnant though. By the way, if you want a video on getting pregnant with PCOS, I will film that because there are some like little things we have to do a little differently. So anyway, I dig through my bathroom to find a pregnancy test. So I found a couple ovulation tests and I found one pregnancy test. And I had seen on TikTok or somewhere, I don't know, I don't remember if it was when I got pregnant with my daughter or when, but I've seen that some people use ovulation tests to see if they're pregnant. I don't know if that's always true, but I was just like, well, let's just see. The LH strips came up like, whoa, positive. And I knew I wasn't ovulating, so I was like, that's weird. Then I did the pregnancy test and it was the most faint line. Like it almost looked like it could be an error. And I came out and I just put it in my husband's face and he was just like, I think you're pregnant. Then he was like, we're going to Walgreens right now and getting one of those tests that just say yes or no. Like we're getting in the car and we're going right now. I was like, I was just feeling so nervous. The same way I felt with my daughter when I was pregnant. Like I was so shaky. I don't know if you guys remember that vlog, but I like couldn't stop shaking. We drive to Walgreens, me, my husband and daughter. My husband runs through the aisles. He's like booking it. He's not wasting time, guys. Finds the box. He brings it up to the lady. And the lady's just like looking at me like, he's like, where's your bathroom? And then she's really looking at me like, are you about to really go take these tests in the Walgreens bathroom? Okay. We go in the bathroom. I go to shut the door. Jared's like, me and Violet are coming in. I'm like, you guys, leave me alone. You rushed me here. You rushed me down the aisle. You rushed to pay. Can we just go home? He's like, take it right now. Pee on it and it comes out positive. And my daughter starts going, woohoo, my mama's got a baby in her belly. Mama's got a baby in her belly. We go to leave and Jared goes up to the Walgreens like, we already paid. We had no reason to go back up to her, but he just had to. He felt that she was involved at this point. He was like, look, it's positive. I'm like, Jared, get my pee stick out of her face. She's like, oh my gosh, congratulations. Stop at Whole Foods because we had like no food in the house. Jared tells literally everybody at the checkout aisle. I'm like 4 weeks pregnant at this point. The lady checking us out, she's like, I haven't seen you in a while. I was like, oh yeah, I was on vacation. And Jared's like, she's pregnant. I'm like, what is it with guys feeling so proud? Yeah, there's just been so many little things, like my ultrasound picture. I remember filming one morning and then like moving into the other side of the fridge. So I just feel like really good that I'm finally sharing so I could just talk about it. Like I just want to be like, is anybody else going through this, or these are the meals I'm making, or just I love pregnancy content. Hopefully my diet gets a little better. This is like what I'm currently living on, is like baked goods, like cookies and muffins. Like I literally make muffins every week. I also want to show you guys some supplements, like what I've been taking. Yeah, it just definitely makes me feel a little bit better because on days that I can literally only eat crackers and ginger ale because I'm so nauseous, it makes me feel better to have like something nutritious for the baby. And I don't take all of these every single day, just as I'm feeling good or the moments I'm feeling good. Like afternoons are good for me. That's why I'm filming in the afternoon. Mornings and evenings, not good for me. So the first we have is prenatals. So these are the prenatals I took with my daughter. These are vitamin code raw prenatal. And I didn't even take them every month. I took them when I wasn't feeling so sick. And then I remember postpartum, I did the Ritual postpartum prenatals. My holistic practitioner at the time that I was seeing when I was pregnant with Violet told me to take this brand. She had liked this brand a lot, but there's some days that I can't get down a vitamin. So I will literally take gummy version. I don't know if it's the gummy version, but it's the same brand. They're both by Garden of Life. You can find both of them at Whole Foods, but sometimes a gummy is easier for me to take. And this one doesn't have like, they're not even like super sweet. They kind of even smell funny. They're not like super sweet, so I feel better about them than some of the other prenatal gummies on the market that like literally are like candy. I have been sticking with my probiotic. This is by Seed. A lot of you guys know that I take this. So I didn't know about Seed until I was breastfeeding my daughter, and my gut was so messed up from pregnancy and birth. like, and breastfeeding, I'm sure all those things, not sleeping, like all of the things. And I told myself I'm not gonna go through that this time around. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some level of that, like losing your nutrients when you give birth and like all of that. Like, yes, there is some, to some degree, kind of stuff I want to talk about in my videos of like baby products that I know are gonna work, that are gonna make my life easier, meals that I'm gonna make that are gonna be more healing for postpartum. Like, I just have a better idea of what to expect this time around. I did talk with Seed and see if it was still okay for me to take while I was pregnant, and they said definitely. Normally I take Seed 2 capsules on an empty stomach, and that's how they recommend it. But during pregnancy, what I do is I take 2 capsules and then I have a banana. Bananas are great for when you're nauseous. So if you're also feeling the morning sickness, or if you're just nauseous, bananas are great for nausea. So Seed calls this the daily symbiotic, and it's a pre and probiotic. This will feed my body good bacteria to help my overall gut microbiome. So I want to continue taking this, especially on the days that I feel good. And I can feel the morning sickness coming to an end. Like, it's not as aggressive as it was. Anyway, like I said, I found this at the end of my postpartum journey with my daughter, like at the end of breastfeeding, end of postpartum. I'd be like 14 months of breastfeeding. And it was such a difference, especially like losing some of the postpartum weight. This was like very helpful. I will leave my code and link down below. It's SAMO25 for 25% off your first month's supply of Seed. Then the next thing I'm taking, this one only a couple times a week because this one can make me feel sick, but I know that there's so many benefits. So I try to do it, but I'm like also not gonna get overly sick over it either, but it's fish oil. So just fish oil. And then lastly, I do add some colostrum in my water bottle. That is what I've been taking for pregnancy. And then another craving of mine has been sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes must have something in them. I need to look this up. I don't know. I've just been like literally so busy. Well, with Violet at school for the first time, my daughter's in pre-K. And oh my gosh, you parents weren't lying when people would post memes that it would be like, party tomorrow at school and you need all these things, and you're like, oh, let me get all of that right now. I feel like at pre-K we always have something we're doing or something I have to remember, so been all over the place. But anyway, I've been craving sweet potatoes and I've like mastered how to make them the perfect baked soft sweet potatoes, because when I used to make sweet potatoes in the past, they weren't always consistent. Like sometimes they'd be too hard and have to go back in the oven, and then it just like, I don't know, they just wouldn't come out right, and then other times they would come out really good. So I just, yeah, some people would say do it at 350, 375, 400, 450. I found the right time. And then I add butter and salt, and they're such a comforting meal, especially in fall, right? Like potatoes, harvest, all that. So we'll make potatoes later at dinner time, and I'll show you guys what I do. And then the other thing I've been loving, and this helps so much when you're nauseous, is like when you're pregnant, you crave like sweets, but you also crave sour. And I found these at Whole Foods, and they're called Giggles, and it's like Skittles, but they're sour. They're called yeah, sour Giggles, and they're really small, so I keep this in my fanny pack, especially when I go to pick up my daughter from school. And if I'm just feeling like a hint of like I will just eat these and it instantly goes away. Like way better than the ginger chews. Or like people will ask me like tea, they'll be like, have you tried this kind of tea? And I'm like, tea? Let me go throw up. Like tea sounds so gross. But these are good. It's funny because when I picked my daughter up from school a couple days ago, this mom came up to me and she was like, I just have to ask, like, I don't know, but like, are you pregnant? And I was like, yeah, why? I don't really like have like a bump yet. And I was like, yeah, why? And she was like, because your daughter told the whole class. And she's like, and my daughter came home, I was like, guess what? Violet's gonna be a big sister. Violet is very proud. She tells everybody she meets, Mama's got a baby in her belly. So that was super cute. So I'm just gonna make one, save some for tomorrow because I literally eat one a day. Violet doesn't like sweet potatoes, but she likes broccoli. Like I'm literally making her broccoli tonight, but she won't eat this. I'm like, this is so good. Okay, so you're gonna line a pan with parchment paper, I like brown parchment paper, not this, but it's what my delivery brought me. And then you're gonna take your sweet potatoes and put them down like this. Have I just been doing them wrong this whole time? I always used to do this. Get them all oily and then put them up like this. But the secret is doing it like this. Okay, so for the sweet potatoes, $4.25. So they just come out of the oven. Put the butter on there.
Kern and wine.
Mm-hmm.